Ladies and gentlemen, there's a silent war happening inside you every single day. One moment you're calm, the next you're raging. One word, one glance, one memory boom. Your peace is hijacked. But what if I told you that your emotions are not your enemies? What if you could become the commander instead of the captive? Let's begin with the truth. Most people never face. Your emotions are the passengers, not the driver. And yet many live like hostages, driven recklessly by moods, insecurities, and impulses. They allow anger to speak for them. They let fear make their decisions. They give sadness the pen to write their story. But your emotions were never designed to lead your life. They were meant to follow your mind. When your mind is untrained, your feelings run wild. And a wild heart can destroy what took years to build. You were born with a gift of dominion, not over others, but over yourself. The battlefield is not your environment, it's your inner environment. Victory isn't in suppressing your emotions, it's in understanding them, managing them, and positioning them under your mental authority. People who master their thoughts don't become emotionless, they become emotionally intelligent. They feel everything, but they are ruled by nothing. That is strength. When someone offends you, the weak mind reacts, but the trained mind responds. When things don't go your way, the untrained mind complains, the trained mind recalibrates. The person who controls their emotions holds the real power because they cannot be manipulated, provoked, or broken easily. Emotional mastery is not about apathy, it's about accuracy. It's choosing wisdom over impulse, vision over reaction. Let me say this loud and clear. You don't have to feel okay to act with power. Discipline doesn't ask for your mood's permission. The mind that waits to feel right will never do right. If you train your mind to lead, your emotions will eventually follow. But if your emotions keep leading, your peace, your purpose, and your destiny will always be delayed. Here's the key. Emotions are indicators, not dictators. They inform you, but they should not define you. Anxiety may rise, but it doesn't get to write your decisions. Sadness may show up, but it doesn't get to design your future. Anger may burn, but it doesn't get to burn the bridge you'll need tomorrow. A wise mind listens to emotion but obeys truth. You don't drown by feeling things, you drown by staying in them without direction. Mastery isn't about never feeling, it's about not surrendering your power to what you feel. You can walk through fire without letting it touch your soul. You can cry and still conquer. You can be afraid and still move forward. So how do you train your mind? You begin by catching your thoughts before they grow teeth. Every emotion starts as a thought, and every thought is a seed. If you plant chaos, you harvest crisis. But if you plant clarity, you harvest calm. Take 5 seconds before you react. Ask yourself, what outcome do I want here? Let your response be intentional, not emotional. People will test you. Life will shake you. But those are not reasons to lose yourself. They are opportunities to rise in self-control. Let your silence become your power. Let your patience be your weapon. Let your focus be your shield. Because when your emotions can't be provoked, your peace can't be stolen. You are not fragile. You are forged. But forging requires fire. Every trial is training. Every delay is discipline. Every offense is an invitation to rise above your old patterns. You're not weak because you feel you're weak when you bow to feelings that don't serve your highest self. So stop waiting for emotional permission to become who you were born to be. Decide today, I will not be ruled by what's fleeting. I will be led by what's true. Master your mind and your mind will master your life. Master your emotions and you will master your destiny. You were never designed to be a slave to mood swings. You were designed to rule with wisdom, grace, and precision. Let your mind lead. Let your power rise. Let your peace return. Your emotions were given to you as signals, not as rulers. They are like traffic lights on the road of your soul, meant to alert, not to command. When you feel fear, it may be pointing to caution, not paralysis. When you feel anger, it might highlight injustice, not license to attack. But most people hand over their decisions to these feelings and call it being authentic. That's not authenticity, that's enslavement. Mastery begins when you hear the emotion but don't hand it the microphone. You are the driver, not the passenger. Feelings don't get to determine your next move. Your purpose should never bend to your moods. Let emotions visit, but never let them stay. They can knock, but you decide who enters. They can shout, but you control the volume. True freedom is when you choose thought over emotional pressure. That's when you stop surviving and start leading. The moment emotions become impulses, your wisdom gets drowned. It happens fast like a spark burning down a forest. You feel threatened, so you lash out. You feel forgotten, so you withdraw. But what if that pause just a moment saved you from lifelong regret? Impulse pretends to be powerful, but it's actually weakness in disguise. The strong don't react instantly, evaluate. They take control before words are spoken or actions taken. You don't need to respond at the speed of your heartbeat. Breathe. Center yourself. Ask, is this how my higher self would act? Emotion says now. Wisdom says wait. The more you wait, the clearer the path becomes. And the clearer the path, the better the results. Growth is not in reacting to life, it's in reshaping it through chosen action. Emotional strength is rarely loud. It doesn't need a scene. The most powerful people often say nothing when others are shouting. They don't flinch when provoked, and they don't crumble when ignored. They move with quiet certainty because they've trained their minds in private. Their peace isn't situational, it's internal. When you carry that kind of calm, chaos becomes irrelevant. You don't need to fight every battle. You don't need to defend your worth. When your identity is rooted, you stop chasing recognition. You don't flinch at rejection because your value is not dependent on other people's temperature. The silent warrior is not numb, they are focused. They conserve energy for battles that matter. That's how they win without fighting. Their strength is not reaction, it's restraint. And that restraint is their crown. You were never designed to be emotionally numb. Feel deeply, but don't let those feelings dictate the script. You can feel fear and still walk forward. You can feel betrayed and still choose love. You can feel tired and still commit to the work. Power isn't in feeling nothing, it's in not bowing to the feelings that pull you off your course. People who are emotionally led are tossed by every wind, but those who feel everything and obey nothing unless it aligns with truth, they walk in purpose. They cry but don't stop. They hurt but still heal others. They burn but don't let the fire consume their focus. Emotional mastery means feeling fully without falling completely. It's the ability to stand tall in a storm and say, I see it, I feel it, but I don't serve it. When someone offends you, it's easy to react. But reactions are emotional reflexes, they're not wisdom. A reaction is your body's way of defending its ego. A response is your soul's way of protecting your purpose. Reactions explode. Responses build. People who live in reaction mode never progress, they keep circling the same pain. When you pause, when you ask yourself what outcome you want before you speak or act, you switch from defense to dominion. Reaction wastes energy. Response saves it. The trained mind always chooses direction over drama. Don't let every word trigger you. Don't let every disappointment derail you. You don't have to attend every emotional argument you're invited to. Rise, respond with clarity, speak with precision, and most importantly, act with legacy in mind. You cannot build anything great if your mood decides your discipline. Moods are temporary, but what you build is meant to last. If you're only consistent when you feel like it, you'll never see the fullness of your own potential. Some mornings will greet you with discouragement, but you must show up anyway. Some days your feelings will whisper, rest, quit, hide. But the trained mind answers back with, we move, we grow, we rise. Emotional consistency is the engine of success. Without it, you start strong and finish nowhere. You begin projects and abandon them. You dream big and shrink at the first feeling of resistance. Mood swings don't create legacies. Unshakable resolve does. And that resolve is born from training your mind to move forward regardless of emotional weather. The secret to mastering emotion lies in the pause. That moment before you speak. That breath before you move. It's a hidden between stimulus and response that power lives. When you delay your reaction, you interrupt the emotional autopilot. You allow space for wisdom to step in. In that pause, your future is preserved. Words unsaid, bridges unburned, peace unbroken. The mind that delays is not weak, it's mature. It weighs consequences before carrying out feelings. It sees beyond the moment and considers the legacy. The longer you pause, the stronger your peace. That's how you go from reacting like a child to responding like a king. 1 second can change everything. Train that second. Own it, protect it, use it. It's where transformation begins. Your mind is not naturally strong, it becomes strong through resistance. Just like muscles, it needs pressure to grow. Every time you resist the urge to speak harshly, to lash out, to quit, you build mental muscle. Every moment you override emotion with truth, you add strength to your core. That's how resilience is born. It's not in the absence of challenge, but in the repeated choice to rise above the urge. Discipline is the gym of the mind. You don't grow when things are easy. You grow when your feelings scream one thing and your decision says another. Train your thoughts like an athlete trains his body. Stretch your patience. Lift your focus. Strengthen your peace. Because a fit mind can carry a heavy calling. And your calling will require a strength that emotions alone cannot carry. Before you can lead anyone else, you must master the battlefield within. Leadership starts in the mirror. If your emotions control you, the world will too. People who can be emotionally manipulated will always be controlled by something or someone. But when you've trained your mind to lead your emotions, you become unshakable. You speak with weight. You act with clarity. You move with unbothered intent. The world doesn't decide your path, you do. Self-mastery is the highest form of influence. You don't have to raise your voice to be heard when your presence is rooted. People follow those who have tamed their inner storms because calm is magnetic. Control over self is the first qualification for leading anything meaningful in this life. You can't have peace if your emotions own you. Peace isn't the absence of conflict, it's the presence of inner authority. When your mind is trained, peace becomes your default, not your destination. You stop looking for it in places, people, or outcomes. You carry it, even when life storms in, even when disappointment knocks, even when betrayal bites, peace remains. Because it's no longer tied to the external. It's anchored in the internal. You can walk into chaos and remain centered. You can face loss and still move forward. That's the kind of peace that frightens the world. It's immovable. And it only comes to those who've taken the time to rule their emotions. Let your mind lead, and your peace will follow.